I was fucking miserable, and I took this overdose of iboga on the weekend of my call to the bar.
You were into writing since you were a kid. Why did you choose law?
Well, the thing is like I never really did any work. You know, I never really worked at it. You know, the thing about writing or pursuing any kind of art is that you have to work at it. You know, one of the things when one of the things I talked about, I think on some of the videos that I was talking about, but like I just basically was, we float around like, when we're kids and like call things normal that are not exactly, we'll say they aren't conducive to our own happiness. And, for me, like I was a lazy kid. I didn't have any like stick-to-itiveness, any gumption or whatever. And, my work, so basically what happened, my parents said to me and the rest of my family, after high school, either you go to university or you're out of the house, which is coercion. It's coercion to essentially service their fears about us, which were, those were fears that I had too at the time. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. And, I just basically floated through. Like, I remember for my first year of university, I was going to be a med student, or I was going to do pre-med or whatever. And I got into like an advanced chemistry course, an advanced calculus course, or the Math 1000 or whatever. And I barely passed it because I didn't do a fucking thing. I was so lazy that I didn't do a thing. And anyways, like I know that if I had been working at it, I could have, but in the second term, I decided to take a German course, and I basically could do well without really trying. So that was my thing there. I mean, like the whole of that period of my life, I was just trying to do the easiest thing, taking the easiest way. I remember Mom would say something to me like, the path of least resistance is what you do all the time, which it was true, absolutely true at the time. And then I ended up graduating, and I had met some friends or I met somebody while I was doing my undergrad, which included a performance arts and communications media diploma, which I found fun, even though I never really put it into practice. Chicago for, I can't remember the name, or VLB Berlin, which is like a brewing school, or I'm going to go to law school. My brother was in law school. My father went to law school. Everyone went to UMB, and I just ended up saying, okay, like,